Well, good evening, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Mitch. Very colorful tonight in my shirt, my new shirt that fits. Let me see if I can show this to you. Look at this. Wow, look at this shirt. I feel like a veritable tropical paradise, a tropical paradise sitting here. I like this shirt. I hope you like it too. Anyway, good to see you all. Good to see you. See, we're off to a nice little start here. 60 people. Not bad for right out of the gate on Tuesday night. 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. 5 o'clock on the West Coast. Middle of the night in Europe. First thing in the morning in Australia. Good morning to all of you. So I've been looking at the chat and seeing you're all putting in there where you're from. Anyway, I've been looking forward to this all day. I've been looking forward to getting together with some friends in a place where I know I'm amongst friends. A place that seems to be harder and harder to find in this world today, when we seem to find something to disagree with just about everybody on. About everybody. I wanted to ask you guys if, I know I did the fifth one of those morning coffee things this morning, and I enjoy doing them. The response to them is not as great as the response to a video where I try to actually create drama, especially negative stuff. Like if I were to put on a thumbnail, this is my last video, I'm quitting YouTube, I would get 1 million views. Everybody likes to go watch the traffic accident, see the disaster. I'm not doing that. Don't worry, not doing that. But it just seems like those kinds of videos always seem to draw, which is why so many people use that as clickbait, you know, a thumbnail that says, "That's it, I quit." And then you watch the video and you finally get near the end and they say, "Yep, I'm quitting artificial sweeteners. That's it, I quit." And then you go, "Oh," and you know, the morning news does that to us in the morning, the same thing. They tease a story, and they keep teasing it through the whole broadcast, and then you get to the end of the broadcast, and it turns out to be a big nothing. So, but I am getting some response to it. The comments seem to be pretty good. I'm trying not to alienate too many people, a talent that I seem to have. Judging by the way my subscriber numbers bounce up and down, and either I alienate people for any number of reasons, and I'll mention a few of them now, so that if I haven't gotten you alienated yet, maybe I will right now during this live stream. Or YouTube is taking subscribers away a little at a time, eroding at the subscriber base of people in these communities that they clearly have a bias against. At least most of us, I've talked to many other YouTubers, and most of us see the same thing. Our videos just aren't being pushed out to as many new people. People who watch us and people who subscribe will continue to get them. But I've had a number of comments of people who've told me they went and looked and they found themselves unsubscribed. So check it, if you don't mind, if it's not too much trouble, check every once in a while. Make sure, if you want to be subscribed to my channel, that YouTube hasn't unsubscribed you for some reason or other that had nothing to do with you. But it is what it is. This is the platform that we have. There's no other platform that I know of that couldn't possibly get me the reach that this does. So I continue to march and I continue to do my thing. some of the reasons I alienate people. Number one, if I talk about evolution, the religious people think I'm a heretic and they go away. If I talk about keto snacks being not the best way to go, then the keto people say, oh no, he's not going to take away my keto cheesecake. Sorry, I can't live without that. So they go away. And I was thinking to myself, and I said, Mitch, what are you doing wrong? What are you doing wrong? And I came to the conclusion that I'm not really doing anything wrong. In fact, I'm convinced that what I'm doing is so right, and the message that I'm putting out is so correct, that I am alienating people who think I make it sound just too hard to do. And that's not what people want to hear. People don't want to hear that something isn't easy. That's not the way we've learned to live. We've learned to live looking for the easy, quick fix to every problem we have, even if that problem took 40 or 50 years to develop. And I've noticed when I go back and look at some of my older videos, because I've been on this carnivore YouTube thing for over a year now, and when I look early on, my message hadn't evolved yet to what my message is today. And compared to a year ago, I hate to say this, I have become a hard ass. Plain and simple. I'm a hard ass. I'm a drill sergeant with my message. And I still have all the same compassion that I had. But I've learned, and I look back at the last year, I look back at the tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of comments that I've read and the feedback that I get from everybody, and the notice that I've taken about the failure rates of people who try this, try to cure that carb addiction. And the fact that the carb addiction is my main message these days is also something people don't want to hear. Just like an alcoholic doesn't want to hear about how he's an alcoholic and what hard path he needs to follow to quit drinking. Not just for a few months, but to fix it for life, to fix it for life. Same thing with all of us that want to lose weight. And they sure make it easy for us. They keep coming out with new diets every day, new drugs, just shoot this injection in your butt and you're going to lose weight. The easy fix. And here comes Mitch. And Mitch is telling you there is an easy fix, but it's not what you think. And it's called carnivore. And the reason you need to be a carnivore is if you're a carb addict, and the likelihood of you being a carb addict is 8 out of 10. And that's a number that I firmly believe in. It may even be higher than that. May even be higher than that. Observe the world. Observe what everybody is buying. Observe their habits. Most people in this country are living on sugar and complex carbohydrates, which break down into sugar. And that's another thing that they say, well, it's not sugar, it's complex carbohydrates, so it's okay, it's not sugar. It is sugar. Pasta is sugar, bread is sugar, potatoes are sugar, onions are sugar, tomatoes are sugar, fruit is sugar. It's all sugar. It's taken me a year to get to the point where I am in my own mind right now, where I know what's important. I know the answer. I'm living the answer, something I never thought would have ever happened to me, and that is living, after 2 years on carnivore, completely addiction free. I'm 77 years old. Up until 2 years ago, I had never maintained any hard-fought weight loss for any more than a few months tops before I fell off it and climbed that ladder again much faster than I came down the ladder, that's for sure. It might take me 8 months to a year to lose the weight. It always went back on in 2 to 3 months. And then usually a little extra just for good measure. I've been 2 years now, 2 years without a single sweet tasting food or drink. 2 years. You'd think if nothing had changed in me, you'd think that my cravings would be so out of control by now. They'd be killing me. You'd think no human being could possibly have the willpower, after 2 years without tasting a single thing that's sweet. And I've put myself out there as an N of one, as an experiment, as a study. Being and doing that actually helps me stick to it because I have a cause, I have a purpose. I'm out to prove something, primarily to myself, but I'm also out to validate the advice that comes out of my mouth to all of these people that keep writing to me and commenting that they keep falling off of it, they can't do it, they're not having any luck, they're not losing any weight. And I keep going back to those simple rules that I have, especially the ones about how to start first 30 days, about abstinence and complete and total abstinence from sugar. I'm looking at the viewer count right now. I'm waiting for it to drop to 0. Because when I say things like that, no, it just went up to, wow. Don't I feel vindicated? The total abstinence from sugar is necessary to cure an addiction. And of course, if you're not an addict, if you're not a carb addict, and maybe 10 to 20% of human beings are not, and we all know some people like that, we hate them. I don't know why you can't stay away from sugar. I don't even like this stuff. Yeah, I'm going to kill you. But it's an addiction stronger. And I've read a number of articles lately where somebody else actually came out and said, with some authority, that carbohydrate addiction is 6 times stronger than heroin or cocaine. I believe that. I believe that. I believe it is the strongest and oldest addiction we have, and I keep harping on it because if people really want to solve their problem, if people aren't just paying lip service to this fact that they want to lose weight, they want to get healthy, they want to cure or reverse their diabetes, they want to cure their autoimmune diseases, they want to ensure that they don't end up with dementia when they get to be my age, they want to make sure that their chances of getting cancer is at a minimum. If that's really important to them, and I don't know a 20-year-old who any of that is really important to, and I don't expect 20-year-olds, but the problem is we start our children out on this crap now. By the time they get to 20, they are hard addicts and they are addicted for life. And unfortunately, until they get into their 40s, when the effects of this slow poison start to make them sick, make them suffer, and rear their ugly heads, or when they're 18 years old, they find out they've got fatty liver disease, until something scary comes along, they have no reason to want to change. They love that food. That food is their life. That food is comfort to them. It's being with their friends. It's watching football games on TV and just continually eating and eating and eating all of that garbage. To tell people they'll never be able to do that again in their life scares them away. You've heard this speech before. I promise I won't go on much longer. But keto gives them some of what they're addicted to in a low carb form. So most people opt for that. They think carnivore is too extreme. And that's like an alcoholic saying, I really want to quit drinking. But just quitting drinking completely is too extreme for me. So I'm just going to allow myself to drink on the weekends. But I'm trying to quit, I promise. And that usually lasts for a month, two at tops, before they're drinking 7 days a week again. You cannot cure an addiction. And I know I'm preaching to the choir out here. I've got 121 people in this choir right now. Most of you are successfully doing this because you understand these principles. But it is these principles and my continual harping on them that gets people just to say, I'm tired of hearing this old fart talk about addiction and telling me I can't eat any sugar. F you, I'm going away, and away they go. And unfortunately, they're never going to solve their problem. Now, I have a choice to make. Do I want to be the most popular YouTuber in the carnivore and keto and low carb space? Or do I want to stand firm to my message because I know what it does? I know the raging carb addict that I am. The fact that 2 years now, with no effort whatsoever, no pain, no cravings, no feeling deprived, no envy of people stuffing their face full of that crap. It's just the opposite. I see people eating all that shit and I feel sorry for them. And I think back and remember the days when that was me. And I say, Mitch, I talk to myself a lot. I live alone. Got to talk to somebody. Except on a live stream when I get to talk to all of you. But anyway, I say to myself, no, Mitch, you have found the holy grail of dieting here, of health. I didn't invent it, but I put my spin on it and some techniques which helped me through the hard times. I don't focus on the things that aren't important to the main mission. And the main mission is not eating any carbohydrates. Now, for some people down the road, maybe you can add a few in. If they don't hurt you or they don't trigger cravings, that's the big test. If you decide to have a cup of blueberries once a week, the minute it starts to be twice a week, you failed the test. You have to stop. You can try it. The problem is, I did that years ago, and I never stopped. So I fell off the wagon, and it became, pounds of blueberries every day. So you got to be very careful. It's the reason why I hesitate to even put one blueberry in my mouth, even as a test, because I know how susceptible I am and how little control I have. But I can tell you that in 2 years, I have had no desire for that stuff because I have not let my body experience it to remind itself of the addiction. Just like an alcoholic, 2 years sober, cannot take a single drink. A heroin user, cocaine addict, cannot indulge once, even after years of sobriety. Our bodies go, wow, it's back, and they go nuts. So yeah, maybe I'm not growing as fast as I used to or as I could. Maybe a lot of people don't like to hear the message I'm putting out. But most people that are new, and so many of you, need to hear it almost every day. You need to hear it over and over. And I try to come up with variations on the theme of different ways to present this message. But this message is the message. It is the answer. It is the answer. And if you don't think it's the answer for you, then you're in the wrong place here. And maybe it isn't the answer for you. But I think for most of us in this country, including my own children, who cannot fully 100% succeed because of their carb addictions. My own kids, their father is old guy carnivore. And my own children can't make it more than a week or two before they hit something with sugar in it again. That's how addicted they are. I can't harp on them because I'll lose them. They won't answer the phone when I call. If all I talk to them about is that, those of you that have kids know, you can't. So my kids are not kids. They're in their 50s, for God's sakes. They're old enough to know that they need to decide for themselves what they're going to do. And I told them how to do it, and they know how to do it. The addictions are too strong. And that's the real problem. I wish more people would talk about that in this space, instead of giving us recipes to make keto pizza crust and keto cakes and cookies and waffles and pancakes and mashed potatoes. That's as destructive to us as non-alcoholic beer is to an alcoholic. What are they going to do? Sit around in a bar all night drinking non-alcoholic beer, watching everybody else drink alcohol? That'll last for 2 nights, 3 nights. Nobody's got that much willpower. Willpower is a myth. Actually, they should call it won't power. More descriptive. At any rate, little 20-minute opening monologue here. Hope you got something about that. And I'll take a look at the chat in a while, and we'll see if people are responding to what I'm saying. Got 138 people. Nice turnout so far. Thank you. And I also, before I get too far, let me get back up in the chat here. I want to thank Mark C. And then I'm going to start saying hello to people. God, you guys are a chatty bunch. Mark C., thank you, Mark. Mark C. has gifted 5 memberships in the private community, and he does that quite often, and I appreciate it. And as a matter of fact, the minute he did that, YouTube gave them away. So congratulations, you got a 1-month free membership as a private community member. A $4 value, $3.99. Thank you very much. Sherry Morgan, Matthew Pottinger, Joy, J-O-I, Emaria Alstein, and Fernando Garcia. Welcome. Welcome to the private community, my friends, and I hope to see you Thursday night in our private community live stream. You can also now go on to YouTube and watch, if you want, some of the previous replays of all the previous live streams that we've had. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope to see you. And if you like it, you might want to stay joined in. And if you don't like it, you can cancel it. No problem. No hard feelings. But thank you, Mark. Thanks, Mark C., for doing that. Very nice of you. Very generous of you. Much appreciated. We have a whole bunch of people that always come in early, way before the thing starts. Cliff Medina is here. Richard, CDL drivers from New York and on his way to Boston. Jerry Bell says, hello, meet people. And my buddy Drone Shot's always here early. Hiya, Jody. How you doing? Anthony Zarcone. Hi, Mitch from Chicago. Winter Haven Snowbird. Enjoys my cooking. Thank you so much. And Tink Matheny. Hey. Carnies from East Texas. Lake Girl. Good evening, carnivores from Minnesota. There's one I don't recognize. So if you're new, welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. And we have Frankie Durso, the third, says hello, everyone. Satya Khalsa. says hello. And Tom from Tampa, Viking 442, how you doing? Susan M's here early. CB, Sheriff CB Carmack from Alabama, how you doing? Hey, Mitch and everyone making the latest fried chicken wings and bacon fat. Wife says they're damn good. Hell yes, they're damn good, CB. Anything fried in bacon fat is really good. And the best part of it is the rest of the world thinks that it's going to kill us, which means there's more bacon fat for us because they don't want to use it. They want to use canola oil. Crazy people. Crazy people. And Linda G is here. How you doing, Linda? Good to see you. And Marilda Tuamola, how you doing? Hello from Southern California. Tuomala, I got it. Okay. Oscar Rodriguez is here. Good to see you. And yeah, Frankie says something to us. Frankie Durso says, started the diet on April 28th of this year. Started at 268 pounds this morning, was 198. Holy cow, man. Holy cow. Yes, sir. Congratulations. Look at that. 70 pounds in about 4 months. Unbelievable. And you got rid of your diabetes. Frankie, kudos, man. Congratulations. Congratulations. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And I'm sure you even feel a little bit better, too. Steve Studley's here. How you doing, Steve? Good to see you. Don Schonger. Hi, Don. And the Feral Grandma says hello. We have Long Haul Healing. Nico. Hiya, Nico. How you doing, my friend? Jason H is here. Nice job, Frank. Thank you for Frank. Yeah. It was amazing. To lose that much weight that quick, fabulous. Fabulous. And who else didn't I say hi to? Bass Piper, how you doing? New to the channel, new carnivore. Well, welcome, my friend, and let me be the first to wish you the best of luck on your carnivore journey. Get through that first 30 days, man. Or woman, I don't know what Bass Piper is, gender-wise. But good luck to you. Stick around. Stick around. Everybody's congratulating Frankie. Yes, yes, ma'am. I'm telling you. Ricky Lee is here. Hey, y'all. Hey, Ricky. And Spanky's in the house. Hey, golf addict. Spanky, how you doing? Hi, everyone. Cheers. Miss Saturday's live. Hope everyone is doing great. We are. We are. And Tina Schweikereth is here. Hey, Tina. Looking forward to my wisdom tonight. Okay. Thank you, Tina. Richard Williams from Copper Hill, Tennessee. I think Richard's been here ever since my first live stream a year ago, man. Thank you, Richard. Always good to see you. And Coco's here. Hey, Coco. How you doing? Martina, good night, everyone. Brenda Paris is here. Hello, Brenda. And B. Matt is here. How you doing, Matt? Good to see you, my friend. Who else we got? We got Burns Aquatics. Hey, from Michigan. How you doing, my friend? And Peter's in the house. Papa Carnivore. How are you? Good to see you, Peter. Think about it. Okay. Hello from Idaho. Thank you, Think. Jennifer Marlowe's here. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, from NS, Nova Scotia, I would guess. 9 p.m. Atlantic. Welcome. Good to see you. Matthew Tremblay is here. Hi, Matthew. Good to see you, as usual. And I'm looking for new names. Here's one, Mark Whistler. Hi, Mark from Indiana. Good to see you, Mark. And Ellen is here, Scooby the dog. Good to see you, Ellen. Welcome. Welcome. We have Steve R. in the house. A lot of Steves. The Diary of Dusty. Mitch, you've been guilty of quick bait also. You mean clickbait? No, I don't think so. But you're entitled to your opinion, and that's fine. It's our job, unfortunately. We have to kind of try to make our thumbnails and titles intriguing enough that you'll actually click. But the difference between clickbait and not is clickbait never, ever gives you what it says on the thumbnail. They never get around to it. I have never made a video that didn't contain the subject matter that I put in the title, at least. And if I have, I am so sorry. I didn't do it intentionally. But thanks for pointing that out to me, because you know constructive criticism is something that just makes my day. Dusty. Dusty's diary. Did you put me in the diary, Dusty? And who else we got here that I haven't said hello to? You guys are just chatting up a storm. Ellen M., did I say hi to you? Hey, there's name twin, Scooby the dog. Another Ellen. This is getting real confusing. Getting very confusing to me. She says that's what the world needs, Mitch. Tough love. We could use a little of that. People are afraid. People today on YouTube and are afraid to not kowtow to everybody's opinion. I was when I first started as well. I wanted everybody to love me. But like anything else in the world, no matter what you do, half the people are going to hate you. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. I don't care if you're Sister Teresa. Half the people are going to not like you and are going to be mean and nasty. So why bother kowtowing to people who, no matter what you say, are going to disagree with you because they're just looking for a fight? We've all known people like that. You say black, they're a millisecond away from coming back with white, not black, white. You say cold, no, hot. They'll disagree with you for no reason other than to disagree. So I've given up. I'm trying to help people here, and I say it proudly. And I'm trying to earn a meager living at this and figured out a way to do that. And I lose subscribers if I talk about my Amazon links. I know that. But you know what? If somebody doesn't think I deserve to make a few bucks, putting in all this time and energy trying to help you, I don't talk about it all that much, then I don't want them as subscribers. They can just go away. That's all. I don't think that's so unreasonable. And P has a question. Did you see the Mueller frying pan 12-inch of 1998? Yes, I did see that. And if you go, that's the black one. That's the black one. The white one, or light gray or whatever color they call it, is $24. I like the white ones. I never had a black one, but I just like the white ones. But when you go through the link on my website, here comes the plug, folks. Hold your ears. oldguycarnivore.com, links to stuff I use page. Let me show it to you. Let's see how many people I can get to unsubscribe because I'm trying to make a living by spending 1 minute of this entire 2-hour live stream on one commercial for me. I should say, and this show is brought to you by, well, Me. I know that some YouTubers do that, and it's true. I don't run ads. I don't let YouTube run ads on my live streams. My live streams and none of my videos do I ever allow them to run mid-roll ads to put you guys through that. I have too much respect for you. I could triple my advertising revenue from YouTube, which is meager at best, if I enabled the mid-roll ads. Everybody else seems to enable those mid-roll ads because it's the only way they can make a living. I came up with this links to stuff I use page, this thing right here, that has links to all of the products and the stuff that I use and I buy from Amazon that helps me execute the carnivore diet and has helped me do it successfully for 2 years. And here's the frying pan that she's talking about. So if you click on this Mueller 12-inch stone ceramic frying pan, you'll see that right now it's on sale for $24.87. But if you go down to the black one, color black, you see it says $19.88. It's the same pan, but it's 50% off. So that's an option for you too. But once you get to Amazon through my links, it doesn't make any difference if you went and bought a cell phone. And if you didn't leave Amazon and you went right from one of my links and bought a cell phone, Amazon will actually pay me a small commission on it too. And that's how I make my living doing this. And I figured it doesn't cost anybody any money. It was a win-win situation. But I'll be damned if there are people out there that just begrudge me. They begrudge me the right to actually try to earn a living for all the work I do on this YouTube channel. And if they don't value the work I do, then why are they watching me in the first place? God, I can understand people that don't like what I do. But these same people keep watching my videos and keep complaining. I can't get them to go away. They want my advice. They want to hear the stuff that I've discovered. And yet, they chastise me for it. I'm sorry, my friends. I don't have patience for people like that. When I hire a plumber, I pay the guy for the work he does. I pay for everything. Nobody does shit for me for free. All I want is understanding people. So enough about that. But thanks for pointing that out, B. That is a hell of a deal. And if I didn't already have 3 brand new Mueller frying pans in boxes sitting in my cabinet under my island in my kitchen, I probably would have bought 1 or 2 of those black ones too. But I now have a brand new one on my stovetop and 3 of them in reserve because I've been swapping them out about once a year. But because they are coated and you can scratch them up and they do discolor a little bit. And I, for 20-something bucks, I can have the luxury of a new frying pan once in a while. That's not true for the carbon steel pans. Those things never wear out, never. You pass them down to your great-grandchildren, but any pan with a coating, it may not get dangerous. There's no chemicals in these Mueller pans. They go, if you look at the link and you look at the different graphics that Amazon has, they spell out that and 5 or 6 different, this is PFUA free, this free, that free, the other free. It is a stone ceramic coating, and it's the best frying pan I've ever used. And it's a well-built pan. It's made as well and as heavy duty as any of these $100, $150 things that Emerald pushes or Gordon Ramsay pushes. They're incredible for 25 bucks. Hell, sometimes the steak we cook in these pans is 25 bucks. At 25 bucks, it's expendable. It's a no-brainer. So I would absolutely check that out. Check that out. All right, where was I? Thank you, B, for pointing that out. And I think that L&M, Papa Carnivore, Golf Addict. Here's one, Patty. Patty Molden says, good evening, everyone. How you doing, Patty? And I am all the way down to, what was it, 8:11 in the chat, half an hour ago. Holy cow. Mitzi May, somebody else new, says, good evening to all of us. And the Diary of Dusty says, this thread is full of poofs. Once again, Dusty, you're showing us your infinite wisdom and intelligence. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Me and all of my other fellow poofs, thank you for finally recognizing our existence. Good job. Good job, my friend. Why are you here? Why are you even here? Things like that puzzle me. They just puzzle me. But we all need comic relief, folks, and I try to be funny, but sometimes I, appreciate a little help. CB says, don't be trying to take away my peanut butter, jelly, and mustard sandwiches. Oh, yuck. Oh, awful sounding. I think you're just kidding. I don't think you eat that. I don't think anybody eats that. And Michael Kesselman says meat. Yes, sir, the word of the day. Yes, sir. Pamela Suarez, how you doing, Pamela? From the British Virgin Islands. Love your coffee from Mitch. Thank you. I'm so happy. I enjoy doing those things. And I'm trying not to be too outrageous. I'm certainly trying in those things not to be profane in any way, use a lot of dirty words. I say bullshit a lot, but that's not even a dirty word as far as I'm concerned. That's just the only word that will actually describe bullshit is bullshit. So, yeah, I don't want to offend too many people. I have a habit of doing that as is. But I hope most of you guys see through that and understand the passion with which I present these things that have helped me in the hope that they'll help you too. That's why I'm here. There's easier things to do for a living than this. Oh, here we have Damascus Road Trucker. I'm having a tough time getting off diet soda. Pretty much just beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, except the soda, down 35 pounds. Well, that's great, man. Down 35 pounds is great. I talked about them today, artificial sweeteners and these new studies. I put that video out yesterday from the TV news doctor, which I always get a kick out of those things because I've never seen one of these TV news doctors that actually doesn't do anything but parrot the company line on healthy fruits and vegetables and shit like that, because he can't do anything else. He can't even tell his patients that red meat is good for him. How the hell could he go on a TV show and tell the world? They'd snatch his license in a hot New York second. And this JFK thing, man, how much have you heard about that today? See, this is exactly what I thought. Sean Baker did a little opinion piece on that, and I agree with him completely. Do we think anything's going to happen real quick? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We may differ on our opinions about why nothing's going to happen, but in the fact that major changes can't happen when you have an entire system that's corrupt and runs on bribes and corruption and money. You can't just stop that. They don't care about what's good for the American people's health. If that isn't obvious, we've had our heads buried in the sand for the last 50 or 60 years. They don't care. They don't care. How could they care They go to work in the morning with the sole purpose of addicting us to sugar and crap foods, and then figuring out new medicines and pharmaceuticals to sell us to cure or to treat the symptoms, because they don't cure a thing. They don't cure a thing. None of the current pharmaceuticals for diabetes, heart disease, dementia, hypertension cure anything. They just treat symptoms. And all of them have side effects, arguably doing more damage than the alleviation of the symptoms does good. Carnivore, on the other hand, here it comes, appropriate human diet. I love that. The appropriate human diet does reverse these things, because these things are not diseases. They are toxicities from substances that interfere with the normal biological function of our organic machinery. When you take away the poison, the problem goes away. It's like lead poisoning. When you stop drinking water that gets to you through a lead pipe, eventually your symptoms of lead poisoning will go away, unless that poisoning has done so much damage to your machinery that it's beyond the point of repair. And that's what happens to most people in our society eating the standard American diet when they get to my age. Half of them or more are dead at 77. Half of them or more are dead. That's the average lifespan of a male in this country is now 76 years. I am living on borrowed time right now. I shouldn't be, well, I have a 50-50 chance. In fact, I'm past that point now. So maybe I have a 54-46 chance that I would be dead. All my friends, every single one of my lifelong friends is gone. These same friends, some of whom were vegetarians and vegans, used to ride me mercilessly because I've been on a high-fat, low-carb diet since the 1970s. I just couldn't stay on it. I'd lose the weight, and the carb addiction got a hold of me, and up I went again. But I've certainly eaten my share of fat in my lifetime, which is something I credit for the fact that I'm healthier than most people my age. I would love to walk into a room with 100 average 77-year-olds. In fact, I could probably do that. If I went to a high school reunion, I never went to any of my high school reunions, but if I were to go, and this is something any of you can do, if you were to go to your high school reunion, you would be in a room with everybody who's pretty much within 6 months or so, exactly the same age as you. And I think that going to my high school reunion would be a shocker for me. First of all, half of the people I went to high school with are dead. That's a sobering thought. I'm so far from dead, I can't even fathom that somebody my age might be dead. It's crazy. When I see 50-plus-year-olds in nursing homes that don't remember their names or their kids' names, I can't fathom that. I can't imagine at my age not being mentally sharp, not having a memory that works, not being able to have a thought and articulate it and go on for 15 or 20 minutes, intelligently, cohesively. I can't imagine being that brain fogged. I can't fathom it, but I can credit the fact that I'm still healthy like in my 30s, healthier. 2, no grains, no sugars, no seed oils, no carbohydrates, no plants, period. Honest to God, I live on bacon and eggs every day, and then my second meal of the day is either a steak, some hamburger patties, or one of these dishes that I concoct up for a little variety, the salmon patties, the chicken wings fried in bacon fat. And tomorrow, I'm going to head over to the grocery store. This is just for fun. It's an idea to make another cooking video. You like my cooking videos. And the other day in that video, those pieces of pork, and I don't know how many of you make ribs. You buy these ribs, and a lot of times, especially at Sam's Club, they've got a lot of meat on top. It's too much meat. You want your ribs to be a little thinner when you cook them. So I take a sharp knife and I trim that meat off the top of the ribs, and that gives me something that almost resembles a flank steak, but it's just pork. And that's what I sliced up. It's not the most tender cut of pork, but I sliced them up and I coated them in egg and the pork rind crumbs and threw them in the bacon grease for about 6 or 8 minutes. They were fabulous. They were so delicious. It was incredible. So I thought, wow. I'm going to make myself a fried mixed grill. I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy some filet mignon. I'm going to buy lean cuts of meat that I normally wouldn't eat because there's not enough fat. But I'm going to buy filet mignon, maybe just 1 or 2, a small package. I'm going to buy a pork tenderloin. And I might even buy a couple of chicken breasts just for the hell of it. And any other tender, good cut of meat that I can find. And I am going to make a mixed grill. I'm going to cut them all up into the same size pieces so that they cook evenly. I'm going to dip them in the egg, coat them with the pork rind crumbs, fry them in the bacon grease, checking the temperature internally with my thermometer to make sure that they're not overcooked, they're cooked just right. And I'm going to have myself a little fried breaded meat smorgasbord, or I'll call it a mixed grill. And I think that would be a real treat. In fact, that would almost be suitable. Think about this. Suitable for entertaining. Can you imagine anybody being unhappy if you invited them over for dinner and introduced them to the carnivore lifestyle and served them that? It's got to be great. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to go do that tomorrow, and I may even film it tomorrow. We'll see. But I love doing stuff like that. But that's not a staple of my carnivore diet. That's just something for a little variety, and I could live without that. I don't need the variety in my diet. So we'll see. Let me do this. Let me go over to the regular chat, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm looking at my screens here, and this right here is the chat. I'm scrolling up and down it that comes from YouTube. And then in this area right here, which doesn't show up well on the monitors, I actually have I don't imagine I'm frozen up here, but there we go. I actually have a chat. My internet connection is showing me that it's maybe not the strongest signal that I've ever had, but I'm trying to look at my monitor and see if indeed I'm live. Yes, I am. Okay. I think I am. If I'm not moving, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Let me look down at the bottom of the chat. Nobody's telling me that I'm locked up. I see Steve Studley says he's waiting for the invite, Mitch. That would be great. And it wouldn't be all that expensive. And what I'm thinking about doing is actually prepping 4 or 5 meals of this assortment of the different meats, vacuum sealing them and putting them in the freezer. So the next time I want to eat them, I just pull one of these vacuum sealed bags out that's got the steak and the pork and the chicken and anything else I might want to throw in there. And I don't have to do the prep work or the shopping for it. So just another way to try to make carnivore more interesting, although I keep pointing out I don't need it. And so many other people that have been on carnivore for years will tell you, they'll tell you they don't need it. They're perfectly happy with just 3 or 4 or 5 different foods. They eat the same things every day. That's the thing about carnivore that makes it work, is that when you finally convert yourself over to being a fat-burning individual where you don't need sugar, your body gets used to the fact that it can live for more than a day without a sugar dose. And it stops the cravings. Those cravings are there for a reason. Your brain, your subconscious mind thinks your body's starving to death. Your high insulin has shut off your fat cells. There are physiological reasons why we get cravings. It's not a mystery. And it takes, like anything else, it takes some time for your brain to understand you're not going to die in a day. It doesn't need to be on a sugar hunt every day, every minute of every day. It doesn't need to be compelling you to find more sugar, because you can only store 1 day's worth of sugar in your body. That's it, 1 day. 1 day's supply of sugar in your liver and your muscles in the form of glycogen. That's it. So as far as your subconscious is concerned, if you're a primary sugar burner, your fat cells are shut down. You could have 300 pounds of fat on you, but as far as your brain is concerned, if you don't get more sugar by tomorrow, you're dead. And that's where the cravings come from. When your brain finally gets used to living on fat, it doesn't want the sugar. It doesn't need the sugar. The sugar is destructive. It's poisonous. It is survival food. That's why you got to get through the first 30 days and get your physiology converted over. That's why I tell you to stay off the scale. Doesn't matter whether you're gaining weight or losing weight. The first 30 days, it's not the goal. The goal is to get your physiology working again, to get your fat-burning pathways awake, to stop relying on sugar, to give your subconscious a head start to learn it doesn't need sugar every day. After all, it's been living like that your entire life. What do you expect from it? And that's my message. It's so simple. And when your brain learns it doesn't need sugar every day, your cravings will stop, like mine have. They will go away. You will not need this mass variety of foods like we think we need now, trying to find all those nutrients that we're not getting, that we do get when we eat primarily meat and fat. It's not complicated, but nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. I didn't get it until I proved it to myself. So this past year or two for me has been an amazing awakening and understanding of why all this stuff happened to me during the first 75 years of my life. And I wish 50 years ago that I could have tuned into some magical, non-existent thing called YouTube and saw some old fart loudmouth spouting about carb addiction and how it all works and why you got to stop eating the sugar. I wish that was there, but that message wasn't there. The closest we got to that message was Robert Atkins, and they thought he was a kook, and they think we're kooks today. So nothing's changed. Nothing has really changed at all. All carbs are sugar, Spanky, says Tom. Yes, all carbohydrates are sugars. They all break down into sugars. Many of them break down before we even swallow the food. The amylase in our saliva cleaves those glucose, long-chain glucose things into individual glucose molecules. So when you chew on that pasta for a while, you're swallowing sugar and your blood sugar goes up. And don't even get me started on fructose and what that does. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to see if you all asking any questions. It is 9 o'clock. We've been at this for an hour. I like to spend some time. I can't answer individual questions. I get a lot of them. So in that respect, I'm not like Anthony Chafee or Ken Berry, where people put their entire last blood panel up and want his advice. I don't think that's a great idea. Anyway, for anybody to give medical advice to somebody who is not a patient of theirs and is not under their direct supervision. Janice Childer says, old guy carnivore, Nisha Burry would not appreciate your idea about keto. Absolutely not. But Nisha loves me. She says she loves me. I know that Ken Berry I think he'd love to be saying the things that I'm saying, but I don't think he's in a position to. He's got too big a following. Too big a following in the keto and carnivore community. But they do their thing, and I do mine. You don't see me and Ken or Nisha doing any joint videos. I have a lot of respect for the man. And I think a lot of people can do well on keto, but I would love to see a real study with real data of how many people started a keto or carnivore diet in a particular year and follow up on all of those people a month later, 6 months later, and a year later, to see how many of them actually lost weight and kept it off, and then a 2-year follow-up and a 5-year follow-up, things like that. Nobody's done those. I think the results would be staggeringly disappointing. I'm sure Weight Watchers keeps those statistics, but they're not letting them out. It's just a simple fact that the recidivism in any addiction is high. And I think that the recidivism in carb addiction is even higher. Most people who work real hard and lose weight, especially those who lose it in the conventional eat less, move more, do more harm to themselves than good, slow down their metabolism, sometimes permanently. And I'm convinced that the correct diet, the appropriate human diet, is one primarily of meat and fat, with some carbohydrate at certain times in certain quantities, which used to be easy to do because you couldn't find this stuff. It was seasonal. It wasn't processed. It wasn't manufactured. And there wasn't pallet loads of this crap in every store, everywhere, on every street corner. Between convenience stores and drugstores, look at the amount of garbage they're selling people every day. And the fact that people are buying this stuff means they're addicted to it. Why would people buy this crap if they weren't addicted to it? They're addicted to them. It's delicious. It's satisfying. It's comforting. Makes them feel good. When they get stressed out, it helps. It calms them down. Well, I've just defined what an addictive substance does for an addict. Alcoholics say, man, I need a drink. Carb addicts say, man, I need one of those frappe coffee drinks and a couple of donuts. Same thing. It's a fix. It's a fix. and we're stuck with it. Let's see. Question: does carnivore sharpen your sense of humor? You are on a roll tonight. Thank you, says Jerry Vodsters. Thank you, Jerry. That's a high compliment. And I try to have a sense of humor about everything. I really do. If I start taking stuff seriously, and you've all seen that side of me, it's not pretty, and that's not who I am really. I try to find humor in everything. Unfortunately, there are important things happening now that are completely and totally humorless. They're scary. But yes, I don't know if carnivore sharpened my sense of humor. I've always had kind of a black, dark sense of humor. And I constantly tell people who know me that when I lose my sense of humor, just shoot me. I'm done. I couldn't even think of a reason to keep living if I couldn't get some joy or laugh. And it's true when they say laughter is the best medicine. It's very hard to be stressed out and pissed off when some comedians got you rolling in the aisles, or something that makes you laugh out loud. It's so funny. So in that respect, I think a lot of these memes that run around every day are actually good and healthy. My son keeps sending me these things. Some of them are really funny. And Sherry Morgan. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? Good to see you. She knows how to trigger me. She knows how to get my goat. She starts off her question with, ta-da-da, the problem with you. And 3 laughing smiley faces. I'm thinking sometimes you don't realize how much we appreciate your links and codes. I'm doing a video of 5 products I bought from your videos and suggestions. That's so sweet of you, Sherry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the fact that I didn't get mad at her, the problem with you is, shows that just exactly the sense of humor I have, and how I'm the target of most of my humor, in case you haven't noticed. I'm the master of self-deprecating humor. I make more fun of myself. I call myself an old fart more than anybody. If you can't make fun of yourself, that means you take yourself too seriously. And I've never been that way. I've just never been that way. Ellen says about the frying pan, 50% off, that's a good deal. Yeah, they are good deals, and they're having these sales for Labor Day. Labor Day. Thank you for not showing ads, Mitch, says Chris Roberts. Yeah, I don't put any ads on my live stream, and when it goes to the replay, I let them show an ad before it. But I can't stand it being in the middle of a movie or a video or anything and having an ad pop up. So I will not do that. I just don't do that to you guys. And instead of, YouTube pays me between $3 and $4 per 1,000 views that I get on a video from the ads, the skippable ads at the beginning. 3 or 4. I get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 on a good day. So that's what? 10, 12 bucks. I make 10, 12 bucks a day for all the work and time and energy to put out a video. It's nothing. If I had enabled the mid-roll ads, especially with the videos that I make that are more than 8 minutes long, most of them, I would probably triple that. I just won't do it. I won't do it. I'd rather you click on my links when you want to buy some stuff for your kitchen. In either event, I got news for you guys. My yachting days are over. My airplane owning and flying days are over. I cannot and will not ever be able to afford the lifestyle I had previously in my life, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually under less pressure now and a lot happier, and I love doing what I'm doing. Let's see, more questions here. Make sure I get this. Mitch, please point out the Brisketarian shirt because it is PC as we become sickened by all the political crap. The Brisketarian shirt. Let me find it here. I think I have it on this page. And I think when you go up to the top of this page, you'll see T-shirts I wear. You click on that. And here it is right here. Brisketarian. And these are not my T-shirts. I don't get paid like if they were my own merchandise. But these are the ones that my kids have bought me from Amazon, and everybody was asking me for links to them. Now, these old guy shirts down here are mine. And if you want an old guy carnivore food pyramid shirt, that'll take you to my own little store where that's my merchandise. But all the rest of these shirts are, and the Brisketarian shirt is right there, $14.99. Fairly cheap T-shirt, comes in all these different colors, and you can buy it on Amazon, and I get maybe $1. So it's great. Those little dollars actually add up when a lot of you buy these things. So that's the Brisketarian shirt. Thanks for asking, Aunt B. Next question is, where is it? Here it is. No, back to that one. Nisha Burry wouldn't appreciate me, I think. Okay, here's a question from Robert Warist. Excuse me one second. Getting a little dry here. The coffee's gone. Bring out the San Pellegrino. Okay. Liz, do you ever go to bed hungry? Never. 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 I can't remember the last time that I ate anything after 5 o'clock at the latest. Usually it's between 3 and 4 I eat my second meal. I usually eat my first meal of the day around 11 o'clock. Second meal of the day around 3. I haven't eaten today since like 3:30 in the afternoon. I had bacon and eggs. Earlier today, I had about a little over a half a pound of smoked salmon and a bunch of pork rinds to eat it on top of. And that was my first meal of the day. That's something I can eat once in a while where I don't have to cook it. It's just smoked salmon. You eat it cold. So, no, never go to bed hungry. I can skip a whole day and not eat and not get hungry. I can't remember the last time where I was so hungry I said, man, if I don't eat, I'm going to die. It just doesn't happen because I'm not running on sugar. And even at my weight, I still have adequate body fat to probably live for a month or two. So there's no panic. There's no need for me to be hungry. Our ancient ancestors could go for days without eating. That was normal for them. They had to find and kill some big animal. So no. Thanks for the question, Robert. And then Sylvia calls us, Satya calls us, says, question, how is Thursday night different? Thursday night live stream is a private community live stream. If you will not be able to view it unless you're a member of the private community. And what I do differently on Thursday night is in the chat, I put a link that people can click on and actually come into the conversation in a window, in a little window, along with me and maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 other people. And we have a party. We talk to each other. We talk about all kinds of things. Sometimes we even talk about carnivore. But it's great. I've met some of the most wonderful people, making some great friends that way because it's face to face. It's like a Zoom call, like a video call. And then we have the other people watching who are in the chat, But since the private community's got like 160 members, generally we don't have more than 100 people. And I don't know how many, because for some reason YouTube doesn't show me how many people are watching. Oh, not on the private streams. And it's completely private. Nobody can ever see it unless they're a member of the private community. We can say anything we want. We can talk about any subject we want. None of it gets looked. I don't imagine YouTube looks at it. They don't care what you do in the private community. So in that respect, it's pretty refreshing. We can all let our hair down, what hair we have, and we have a good time. I encourage people to join. I think at 160 some members, it's doing okay. It's doing okay. You might want to try it or not. That's up to you. That's up to you. How is Thursday night different? And the next question, Mitch, from Frankie Dorso, who has lost all of that weight. About how long does it take to lose the loose skin? It's not bad. I'm just looking for more, but I'm happy. Well, when you lose that kind of weight, Frankie, you're going to have loose skin, and it's going to take a while. And some people that have just a tremendous amount of loose skin end up having it surgically removed because it just takes too long. And what will remove it is autophagy. And if you've heard of autophagy, it's a word that literally means eating yourself. It's where the body takes tissue it no longer needs and breaks it down and reuses the building materials. It's how we get rid of dead cells. It's how the body cleans itself. And autophagy happens at a much more rapid rate when you fast, which is one of the reasons why I do intermittent fasting with an eating window that is 4 to 5 hours a day. 2 meals spread over 4 to 5 hours with no snacks in between. I just eat the 2 meals, eat the 2 times a day, don't eat a thing before, between, or after either of those meals. That means that I'm basically fasting for 19, maybe 20 hours a day. And during that time, my autophagy will ramp up and my body will get rid of. I've still got, I never had the kind of weight that you had to lose. I topped out about 210. And I still have some loose skin. I'm 77 years old, though. I'm not going to snap back like a 40-year-old would. So, you got age working against you, too. But, for an old fart, I think I'm in pretty good shape. And I seem to, as the second year went by, I seem to be better than I was a year ago. So it is improving, but it's a long process. But I got to tell you, this bullshit about it's better to look good than to feel good is not true. How you feel and losing the weight is more important than the loose skin, which will take care of itself. If you were a young, attractive woman, yeah, I might say, talk to a surgeon. Maybe a little tummy tuck might be in order. But for us guys, it sounds to me like you're pretty satisfied with your results. And I don't think filling that loose skin out again is an option or anything that you want to do. So I hope that answered your question for you. And we're back to the sense of humor question, the t-shirt question, and the loose skin question. So I think, let me see. I don't see any more questions popping up. There may be some there, but my little thing is not finding them. Whoop, here we go. Oh, this is Steve Studley says, Jerome Cuso put QQQ in front of your question. So does Jerome, oh, Jerome has a question. I see it here. Are you in ketosis all the time or does it go away? I don't know. I know that may sound like a strange answer to that question. And if you think that was strange, I'll give you my second answer. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Wow. Now, let me explain what I mean by those answers. Because this is very important. Of all the healthy animals in the world, of all of our healthy ancestors that lived before anybody actually knew what ketosis was, somehow their bodies managed to take care of themselves without any conscious intervention. They didn't worry about, understand, or care about whether they were in ketosis or not. Ketosis is a natural function that happens in certain circumstances. And it's a normal function of the body. And you can rest assured that when you are not eating sugar, your body will be in ketosis when it needs to be, and maybe not in ketosis when it doesn't need to be. And nothing that you can do about it other than taking a lot of exogenous crap like medium chain MCT oils and all that other stuff that these people tell you. You got to be in ketosis. You got to keep measuring your ketone levels. You got to keep pissing on ketone strips. You got to know what it is. You got to know what it is. No, you don't. We are, as an organism, on autopilot. We are programmed. We are a self-driving Tesla. Our bodies know exactly what they need to do, and we need to do one thing. We need to give our bodies the nourishment that it needs and stay the hell out of its way. And don't interfere and try to micromanage any of that. Eat your meat, eat your fat, fast intermittently or whatever. Do the program, do the diet, and let your body regulate its own chemistry, which it does. Thousands of times every second, every day you're alive, in every one of the trillions of cells in your body, without you having to keep track of any of that stuff. The only thing that we really need to keep track of is the food that we eat, and to try to figure out what nutrients that we need might be missing from those foods because of the current state of crops and soil and everything else in the world. We've pretty well nailed that down to electrolytes, maybe vitamin D if we're not getting enough sun, K2, a few different supplements, iodine. But consciously, I think that's all we really need to take care of and be aware of. But this business about, and I don't want to down anybody else who's got a YouTube channel. I don't want to badmouth these people that harp on this stuff. I don't want to talk about, people that are wiring themselves up to machines, ketone monitors, constant glucose monitors, and all that. They're great to prove to yourself that when you eat sugar, it spikes your blood sugar. They're great for that. But, if you're going to continue to eat sugar, you're going to have a problem, especially if you're an addict. Even if a sugar doesn't spike your blood sugar too much, it's still sugar. It's still going to feed your addiction and perpetuate your addiction. That's why I say if you're a carb addict, you got to abstain for a while, and then you might try to reintroduce the sugars. But until you get off of them, your body will not find the right levels of everything, and it won't fix itself. And your body you have to have ketones if you're eating just meat and fat. It would be impossible not to be in ketosis some of the time. So I think the answer to your question, without me being snide and funny like I was trying to be, is, Jerome, is that I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't. I have no idea what my ketone level is in my blood. And neither does Anthony Chafee. Neither does Sean Baker. I don't think Ken Berry does either. I don't think many of the real carnivore people give a second thought to ketones. I know that Dr. Rob Sivas thinks measuring ketones is a joke. So I kind of follow along that footstep of the real carnivores, the real people that have just said, that's it, not eating sugar. Don't need to monitor their blood sugar. Don't need to do all this. That stuff takes care of itself. And now, if you're trying to be on keto, trying to eat all the treats, trying to juggle and balance those 20 grams of carbs a day so that you can continue to feed your addiction, yeah, the only way you can do that and still lose some weight is going to be to try to keep your carbs right under that limit that will stop ketosis. And in that case, yeah, you have to measure. But that's the problem with this particular lifestyle, the low-carb lifestyle, that I keep harping on, that I've learned. I learned the hard way over 75 years. It doesn't work. It's too much work. It's too much to keep track of. And all you're doing, you don't need any of that sugar. Your body doesn't need a gram of sugar. All you're doing is feeding your addiction and perpetuating the problem and guaranteeing failure down the road. That doesn't make sense to me, but as an addict, it made plenty of sense because that was what brought pleasure to life. Life without that couldn't possibly be pleasurable. Without that pizza twice a week. Without that Starbucks mocha frappuccino every morning with a biscotti on the side. Without cellophane bags full of Cheez-Its and Doritos and all of that stuff that just made you feel so good. And even low-carb versions of those were better than nothing. How can you live without that stuff? Well, you can. Not only can you, you'll live better, and you'll have what we call food freedom. You will have food freedom. That food will lose its hold on you. It won't matter to you. It would have no appeal to you. It's crazy and unbelievable, which is why it's so hard for people to do. I tell people what my diet is, and I tell them they should do it. They look at me like I'm out from outer space. They say, "You want me to do what? Are you crazy?" You know how many times I've heard that? And that's what I say, do what you want. It's your life. You know, you enjoy sticking those insulin needles in yourself every day. More power to you. You know, if a bag of Doritos is worth that, then that's your decision, man. So that's the answer. Long answer to a short question, but most of the real carnivore people, the doctors, I'm not a doctor, but I agree with them 1,000%, is that let the body take care of whether you're in ketosis or not. Don't give it a second thought. Hope that answers that for you and everybody else. Let's see what else I got here. I'm going round and round in the questions. Take to lose the skin. And that's it for the questions. Tom, I don't know. Oh, he's talking to Sherry Morgan. How do you work your butt hanging upside down? Interesting question. CVB, last in the chat, says day 60 and every day gets easier thanks to Mitch and a number of others I listen to. Thanks, Mitch. You're very welcome there, CVB. It does get easier. And every month that goes by, it just gets more routine and easier for me. And I go into It's amazing when I go into a store. I bypass everything, and I marvel every time. Look at all this crap. And as I whiz by, going at 3 times the speed of most people in the store, on a mission to get to the meat department, get what I need, and get out of there. I have no cravings, no desire in walking past all that stuff that Sam's Club makes you walk past to get to the meat department, which is way in the back next to the bakery. They don't miss a trick, these people. CB Carmack says nothing better than food freedom. It's true. I never experienced that in my life. None of us have. We are slaves to food. It's all we think about. I keep saying it. Our entire life revolves around it. Yes, we need food to live. But when you finally get adapted to a carnivore lifestyle, food, you don't think about food. I think about food more because I'm making videos about it. If I wasn't making videos, it would hardly cross my mind. And here's an interesting little exercise. If you have problem grasping, if you're a carb addict, and you have a problem accepting the fact that you really can live without this stuff. You can live without the sweet tasting stuff. It's impossible for us to believe because so much of our life is wrapped around it. So much of our entertainment, our family dinners, visiting relatives, parties, birthday cakes, this, that. You go to somebody's house for dinner, you're always taking something, wine, desserts, pastries, I mean, this is just tradition. This is what we've gotten used to. Think about this. Most of you are not cocaine addicts. I'm not a cocaine addict. Now, this is easy for me because I don't like alcohol. So for me, I have a great example that I can just think about and compare the difference in addictions. Now, I imagine that most of you are not addicted to cocaine. So if you're not addicted to cocaine, that means that you have never exposed yourself to this drug. You've never touched it. You've never had it. You don't know what it feels like to snort some cocaine. You see addicts, and heroin too. You see a reaction when they do it, and then you say to yourself, well, they're getting something out of it because they spend tons of money on this stuff so they can do it again. There must be some amazing, pleasurable reaction from doing this. Why else would somebody spend that kind of money to sniff some white powder up their nose? But you haven't done it, and I haven't done it. So I can't tell you what that is. And because I can't tell you what that is, I can't possibly miss it in my life. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm missing. So how can I miss it? That's true of anything. That's true of anything. That's not just food, that's activities. That's why once you've lived the big life, the rich life, the fancy travels, the fancy cars, it's tough to go back from that. But if you've never had any of that stuff, yeah, you can think it would be nice, but it's not as hard as having had it and then lost it, which is what happened to me. And I truly understand that. It took me a long time to get over the fact that I don't own a yacht anymore. I don't own a twin-engine airplane anymore. I don't live in a 6,000 square foot mansion anymore. And I never will again because I'm an old man with no retirement who makes YouTube videos to earn a few bucks. But after a long enough period of time, we adjust to everything. But the good news about never having had something is you'd really never miss it. You never miss it. And the longer you've had something, the more you miss it when it's gone, and the more important it is to you. And that's how it is with substance addiction, whether it be alcohol, drugs, or carbohydrates. All of us have had this carbohydrate, have had the pleasure we get from eating these sugars our entire life. Therefore, the very thought of living without them is painful to us and inconceivable, and we just can't imagine the horror of that. But imagine if you were somebody who'd never tasted sugar or never tasted anything sweet. Imagine if you were born in some remote part of Brazil in a tribe where they only ate animals, they only ate meat, like so many of our ancestors did. You would never think about sugar. You would never think about Starbucks Frappuccinos or pizza or any of that crap because you've never had it. You can get back to that mindset. It just takes time. And that's why you can cure addictions. But you have to abstain completely. You can't cheat. You can't have a cheat day. You can't have a cheat meal. You can't have a cheat bite. You're trying to get your brain to forget it as if it never happened. And the beautiful thing about carnivore is that when your chemistry starts to get right, you forget so much quicker. Your brain can start to forget this stuff in 30 days once you become a fat burner. So while we're all so busy thinking, and all the keto people are so busy thinking about trying to hang on to some of that, they're sealing their fate if they're a carb addict. And if they're not a carb addict, chances are they're not overweight anyway, or diabetic. They just don't have the problem. They can't understand the problem. They can't understand why all these fat people can't stop eating this shit, just like I can't understand why all these alcoholics can't stop drinking, because I am not addicted to alcohol. They get no pleasure from this stuff, so they can't miss it. And then there are a few people that can moderate, but that doesn't work for most people. Not with sugar. That's why I keep harping on that fact, that I keep getting back to it, that you got to abstain. And the only diet where you abstain from sugar completely is a carnivore diet. I'm sorry, there is no other. That's it. No version of keto, no nothing. Not ketovore. You're still eating carbs. You're still feeding your addiction. I may be wrong. I may be 100% wrong. But not for me, not what worked for me, and so many of you out there have told me that it worked for you. And that's reinforced my conviction to keep on this message, even though I may not be the most popular guy, not telling you what you want to hear, not telling you how easy it's going to be, not telling you how you can eat your cake and have it too, but telling you the tough reality of it. That's what I'm going to do, because I know that it works, and I know the other shit doesn't. At least it didn't work for me. And how could I give you advice that I knew failed when I tried it? Just like Ken Berry can't give the old diet advice he did when he was practicing medicine once he found out that he was hurting people. He's an honorable man. I like to think I am too. Mitch and Berry say the S word. Yes, DS111, I say the S word, occasionally the F word, and a few other words too. Oh, Jerome Cosinal says, welcome to channel support. How you doing, Jerome? See you chimed in. Got yourself a private community membership tonight. How about that? Good for you. I see my friend Bill from Coast to Coast Drones is here. Hey, Bill, how you doing, my friend? Thanks for stopping in, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Papa Carnivore says she's helping Sherry gain some healthy weight, right, Sherry? You must have been underweight. Ann B's talking to Ellen, Scooby the dog. I say them all, Mitch says DS111. You're all giving each other advice. That's great. That was great. Coast to Coast Drone says, I was like 129. Yeah, something like that. I think the highest I got tonight at one point was maybe 150, something like that. Here's a question from Shedley, 81. Mitch, how are you holding up not responding to comments? You have been in a much better place lately. Yes, I have. I made that decision. I read the comments, and there are still a couple of them that piss me off. And occasionally, if there's something that I think is important, I want to get people out of the habit of expecting a reply from me. Like I used to pretty much reply to everything with a thank you or something like that. And it's just got to be too much work. There's just too many of them. 8 to 10 hours every day. That's like a whole extra day's work. I do care about everybody, and I glance over. I read them, but it doesn't take me an hour to read all the comments. If I have to start reading them that close and typing or dictating an answer and then correcting the dictation, because you know how Google voice typing is, never capitalizes somebody's name, so I got to go back in and fix that. And I did that on my cell phone with that tiny little keyboard. It was just time-consuming and stressful. So thank you for asking. It's working out great for me as long as it doesn't lose me respect, because I had pledged to read and answer all the comments, a pledge that becomes impossible to keep as the volume of what you do builds up. So thank you for asking, but it is working out okay. It is working out okay, and I may start to get back into it a little bit, but I have to do it at my pace. And not reading some of these annoying comments does help, because nobody likes to be trolled or ridiculed or told. I had one guy tell me the other day, basically, you've lost the plot, Mitch. Time to give it up. What he said. That was it. Imagine, you do what I do. You work as hard as I do at this. And some guy tells you, you've lost the plot. Time to give it up. Just that matter-of-factly. Very hurtful. I don't want to be the kind of person that isn't hurt by that. I don't want to be a machine. I don't want to be that sociopath, that sub-caring human with no conscience or feelings or compassion. I don't want to be that person. I refuse. People say, you need to get tough, you need to harden up. No, that's not me. I'm not going to give up who I am. I'd rather get hurt a little bit and still be in touch with my humanity. Something missing from so many humans on this planet these days. Yeah, DS111, you've lost the plot and should give it up. It's like someone throwing a spear. It's true. It's mean. It's nasty. It's hurtful. And in a matter-of-fact manner like that, it shows me that this person is a sociopath. You all know what a sociopath is. A sociopath is somebody with absolutely no conscience whatsoever that can go out and murder people. Can just go out and murder people with without a second thought. Not feel bad about it at all. We have too many sociopaths in the world these days. They're scamming us every which way. They're stealing our identities. They're ruining our lives financially. And like the movies about these New York stockbrokers working in these boiler rooms, stealing grandpa's life savings and buying a new Ferrari with it and going out partying in a bar all night in Manhattan. We've all seen those. Those people should, those people don't deserve to live in a society, but they do. They take advantage of everybody. They don't feel a thing. I'm sorry, I don't want to be one of them. Don't want to be one of them. Chris Hope is here. Hey, Chris, how you doing, my friend? Chris Hope says, Mitch made me get into FPV drones. I didn't make you, but I led the way. He helped me build a quad on his live stream. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, those were good days, man. I haven't flown. I need to charge some stuff up, put the goggles on, and go out and fly a little bit one of these days. I keep saying that, but I never get around to it. But good to see you, Chris, man. How you doing? Yeah, all the drone guys have chimed in here. Coast to Coast Drones. I've been bringing Carnivore up to my wife so far, not going well. It's tough, Bill. It's tough. Your family doesn't want to give up that shit. Nobody wants to give up that shit. It's too good. It's too satisfying. It tastes too good. It's scientifically made to hit every button that addicts you. If you don't know it, there's a thing called the bliss point. It's very well known in the diet circles. The bliss point. It is that exact combination of sugar, salt, and fat that makes Doritos irresistible. Where you can't just, the bag is gone, the box is gone. It makes Cheez-Its irresistible. Candy bars with nuts and caramel and salt. They have scientists that get paid big bucks to engineer this stuff and experiment with it to find that perfect combination that people get addicted to. And once they're addicted, they have to buy that stuff. And then trying to get unaddicted to that is the hardest thing you'll ever do in life. And carnivore is the only way I ever found where it's even possible to do that because of the physiological changes that happen to you from abstaining completely from that crap and eating just the nutritious foods that let your body start working again. It's the greatest discovery and you remember from my drone days when I was on keto that I used to keep interjecting a little of that trying to help people. So I was a drone channel, but I've been a closet diet guy on the internet for quite a while. But the drone guys generally they didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it. Sherry Morgan says, I'm thinking about making a video series on it. That's great, Sherry. Guys are talking about dental work. Nah, I don't want to go there. Mitch has been a guru for years, says Bill. Well, who was it? Bob Casey, Bill. Bob Casey, he kind of named me Professor Mitch, remember? And I still hear from Bob, and Chris Hope's in here. I mean, I still hear from the guys. And it makes my day when I do. Well, listen, guys, I'm down at the bottom of the chat. I don't see any more questions. It's 10 minutes to 10. I've had a great time tonight. Still got 112 of you in here, all my friends, and I see most of you in the chat now are green, which means you're all the hardcore, the private community. So thank you for that. Good to see you. I'm going to I'm going to call it a night, I think, since there's no more questions, and I've said it all once again tonight. So let me get some traveling music in here. Get some blues going on, and say goodnight to you all. Carolyn Loves Elvis Forever says good night, everybody. Golf Addict, have a great evening. And Bill, thanks for coming in, man. Good night to you, too. Everybody's saying good night. And for all of you in the private community, I will see you on Thursday. I will see you on Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and then the rest of you on Saturday afternoon at 3. In the meantime, more than likely, if the Spirit moves me tomorrow morning, I will make another episode of Morning Coffee with Mitch before I head out to buy the stuff I need for my next little kitchen project, which is going to be a fried, breaded, mixed grill. Sounds delicious. So with that, my friends, thanks so much for coming. Good to see you all, and until the next time, take the rest of the day off. And you drone guys will remember I always gave you the rest of the day off, and I told you to go play with your drones. But now I give you the rest of the day off and tell you to eat meat.